Continual Growth Podcast, where every week we bring you tips and tricks on how to kill every day and own your fucking life. I'm your host, Ambawanka. It's episode 51, and you know it's time to bring that hot fire. I'm joined by Stir, aka Stirrific, aka All-Star, aka Yes Stir.
Hey, boom! I'm in here, man. Y'all like the AKAs, man.
You like
I see
that? Yo,
I see y'all in a new one there.
nobody has more nicknames than Stir, and I guarantee you, there's people right now who are making up even more nicknames, more AKAs for you.
It's true, man. It's the power. I love my name, man. It is what it is.
Don't worry, we got more coming out too next week. Just wait for it.
All right, man. Yo, I'm excited for today's episode. We're gonna talk about training your body, training your mind. I'm really excited because I think I'm gonna learn a lot about this conversation. And so, man, let's just jump right into it. What you want to tell the people?
Okay. So let's touch a little bit on training your body, training your mind. And if you think about your body or anybody's body, it's really easy to notice what's going on. It's really easy to notice like this person's in shape and this person's out of shape.
Right.
You can just visually see it. But when it comes to the mind, you can't see it. You have to talk to a person, you have to see what the person's doing, you have to kind of understand a lot more than
just what the eye sees.
Just what the eye sees. And that's the same thing for like, when I was personal training before, what I would always tell my clients was like, after 1 month, you're gonna start to notice like the results. After 2 months, your close friends and people who are close to you are gonna start to notice the results. And after 3 months, that's when everybody's gonna start to notice the results.
Okay.
And you can always notice the body, but it's so hard to notice the mind. But the same thing is gonna be happening with the mind. It's just not in your face.
So, where do you even start with the mind? Because with the body, I know that you spent years working on your body. From when you were in high school, working out was not really, it was almost second nature for you. Up until today, you went through a phase where you were a personal trainer, so you had that experience. When someone asks you where do you start when it comes to physical fitness, you know where to start.
Yeah.
With the mind, where do you start?
Man, same place that you would start when it comes to the physical. You start with just one thing. You start with just one thing, just small. You know what I mean? When it comes to the body, the first thing you're gonna do is you just need to go to the gym.
You gotta move
one time.
Yeah.
You just need to get to that one session. And that's the same thing when it comes to working on the mind. Like, let's just take reading for example. You gotta go and you gotta read. You gotta decide, okay, I'm gonna read for 10 minutes, I'm gonna read for 15 minutes, however long you're gonna read. But then you go and you do that. And then you gotta, same way that you're gonna work out. When you work out, you have a program that you follow.
Yeah.
Right? You have a program you follow, and it's so that you can get to your goal. And you have to have the same thing for when you're working out your mind.
Yeah.
You have to have a program like, okay, I'm gonna read 4 days a week for 15 minutes. And if I follow this, I'll be done my book in 1 month or a month and a half or however long it takes. But it's the same principles, it's just a different subject, a different topic.
Yeah, and I think, now you're talking about subject and topics, I think that especially for people who are starting out, same with fitness, physical fitness, start with something that you enjoy too, something that you like, something that you know that when you start training towards it, working towards it, you're gonna enjoy it and it's gonna benefit you at the same time. So you talked about reading. So with reading, I know that one of the first books that you tackled was a massive book, and it wasn't necessarily an easy start, but it helped kind of build momentum for you moving forward.
Yeah.
That's not maybe something that you want to tell everybody to start with, a big book, but start with something that you enjoy, start with something that you like, that you know that later on, as you go through the process, it's going to get easier, it's going to be more fun. And so it's the same way with fitness. Like, I started playing sports, started playing basketball because I liked it, I enjoyed it, I got better, so on and so forth.
And even like to give you an example, this is not a good example, and I'm not happy that I used to do this, but I was like intense when it came to working out, right? So when someone else would come in, I would be like just as intense, right? And like there was times where like people would puke, like they would come to work out with me, and because they haven't worked out in so long, they would get sick and throw up. And for me, I was just like, oh, like whatever, man. You just haven't done it. Your body's not used to it,
Yeah.
right? But for them, it was so hard, and they wouldn't want to come back again. And that same thing happens with like someone who doesn't normally read. You go and you read, and let's say you read for 45 minutes or an hour, whatever, however long it takes to finish chapter 1. When you think about the next time that you're gonna read, you're gonna be like, it's gonna take me 45 minutes. It's gonna take me an hour. I don't have time for that. You're not throwing up or anything like that,
Yeah.
but you're like, that's an hour of my time. Like it's like you're not gonna want to do it,
Yeah. So
right?
so basically, yeah, ease your way into it. You know, take your time, be patient with the process. Is what I'm getting from
Yes,
the
yes,
response.
100%.
Okay. So now tell me a little bit more about some of the things you've learned that are really important about training your mind versus training your body.
Okay. So I would say like one of the biggest things is like that you can learn anything, right? When it came to fitness, I didn't know you could learn anything, but I was just like, well, I've tried this before. Let me try something else. Or I would see someone doing a workout and go talk to them. Be like, how do you do that? Oh, okay. Why do you do that? Yeah, cool. All right, let me add it. Let me start doing it. And in the beginning, you're not very good at it, but as you start working on it, you start progressing, and it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And that same thing happens when it comes to working on the mind, right?
Okay.
Meditation, for example.
Mhm.
When I first heard about meditation, I'm like, man, this is bullshit. Why the hell would I ever meditate?
Right.
But then I found out, like, okay, there's many benefits to meditating. It's gonna help you focus. It's gonna help you like stay on task. It's gonna make you calmer.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, there's all these good reasons. Let me go try it. And then after you try it and you start doing it more, you start learning more as you're going, and it's all the same principles. All you have to do is take that same discipline and that same consistency and just use it in when it comes to whatever you're doing, training the mind. Because there's a lot you can do.
Yeah, I think a big part of that, what you just shared, is just the whole education aspect of it. You got to definitely consume enough knowledge to understand what it is that you're trying to do when you're training your mind. So with meditation, for sure, it's about building strength, and also there's a calm aspect of meditation that you need that helps you build your brain, and it really sets it up and prepares it for situations where you need to be calm, and you need to have you need to be aware of all your thoughts and things aren't going all over the place. Same with your body, right? When you're this kind of reminds me of like sports. So when I'm thinking about training the body, first thing I think about are sports. So you train your body well enough to do certain movements, do certain things, so that when you're ready to play the real game, it's happening. It's automatic.
It's easy
You know?
work, yeah.
So with the mind, I kind of take that same approach, that like sport sort of training approach, where it's like, okay, let me first figure out what it is that I want to get better at, figure out what tools that I can use to train to get me to that point. For me, meditation is a tool, one of the tools that I use to help calm my mind, to help strengthen my mind, and so that my thoughts aren't taking over my everyday life. I have a little bit more control on that.
Yeah.
So education, definitely, that's a big point that you mentioned, that I think everybody needs to know, for both training your body and your mind. It's the same way you learn about the different muscles, the joints, the exercises that help your body get to an optimum physical condition. Same thing works, I think, with your mind. So yeah, so okay, talk a little bit more about some of the other things that you learn. Like we talked about meditation. What are some of the other things that you do right now to build your mental state of mind?
Okay. So I think like one of the most important things is like your body is like a vehicle, right? Inside of the vehicle, it's like, or you can say, I like to use a horse, like an old school, man. I mean, sometimes you can say like a vehicle, steering wheel, whatever, but I like to say like a horse, right?
Okay.
Your body is a horse, and inside of the horse, or like on the horse, is a jockey, which is your mind that controls your body. And what you want to do is you need to train the jockey to be able to do to make your body do whatever it is that your body wants to do. There's always those times where you're sitting on the couch and you're like, oh man, I need to get up and I need to get up and I need to do something.
Right.
But you feel like, no, I just want to just sit here. But it's because your jockey is he's not strong enough right now.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you need to work on there's lots of different things that you need to do, but you need to work on strengthening that jockey so that you can make your body do whatever it is that you want to do or whatever it is that you need to do.
Mhm.
And it could be meditation that's going to clear up your thoughts, practicing gratitude that's going to put you in a happier and better mood. It could be, I think the number one thing is like just getting out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
pushing yourself to do things that you don't normally do.
Would you say that's something that you've benefited from the most in terms of development for your mind?
Oh,
Getting out of your
100%.
your comfort zone?
100%. That's what it always comes down to. Because anytime you want to learn anything new, it's out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, you have to challenge.
Yeah, you always have to keep challenging yourself, and every time that you do something that's out of your comfort zone, you grow, and your comfort zone becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you get to the point where you're like, I can do anything, just
Yeah.
because like your comfort zone is huge.
Yeah, so there are a lot of similarities with training your body and your mind. Just from that example alone, when you explained that, it reminded me of like when you working out, you know, and you're ripping muscles or whatever, you're tearing muscles. You know, you got that pain you feel after like you've lifted a couple times and you know it feels like you're ripping and tearing. So that's the pain that you were mentioning, that you're referring to, that you have to kind of go through in order to learn, in order to grow.
Yeah, you go through that, and then when you heal, it comes back stronger.
Yeah.
But that's what it's all about. Like when you rip the muscles, it's so that they can repair and come back stronger.
Mhm.
And when you get out of your comfort zone, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. It's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good. But when you repair and you come back, now you have a way bigger comfort zone. Now it's way easier to do the thing that was difficult for you to do before.
Exactly, and I think the same way we look at the way we condition our bodies is definitely the same way we look at how we condition our mind, in terms of what you put in is what you get out.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, with food, there are, you know, I'm very guilty of this. My eating habits were never really the best. I'm still working on it today, but you know, if I'm eating and I'm not watching what I'm eating, it's really easy for me to start gaining weight
Mhm.
after even just a couple of weeks. After a couple of days I can feel it, but after a couple of weeks is when it really becomes evident. I wake up sluggish, you know, I'm not feeling like I have all that energy. So I think that with the mind, maybe you can talk about this a little bit. What are some of the things that, you know, you make sure that you're consuming all the time so that your mind is working in the right condition? It's not like, you know, you're not feeding yourself garbage so that, you know, you're giving out garbage. So what are...
The number one thing is, like, the thing I'll never miss is meditation. That's a guarantee, like, always gonna happen. But after that, I would say the next biggest thing is probably reading. If not reading, going through like my goals, my letter to myself. Basically what that is, it's like a decision of like who you want to be, the type of life that you want to live, and all of these things, you have to do them constantly. You know what I mean? If you stop doing them, you're gonna forget about them, right? And we were talking about Rubik's Cube before,
Mhm.
and I told you, like, I know someone who learned how to do a Rubik's Cube in one day. It took him 8 hours,
Yeah.
right? But he's not able to do it anymore because he stopped doing it.
Yeah, you stop training, you stop
And-
doing the work.
Yeah, that's how it works. If you're doing something, if you create a habit and you stop doing this habit, it's no longer going to be a habit because you don't do it anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, that's, for me, like that Rubik's Cube example resonates because I made it at 21, so I created it, developed it into a habit, and I was doing it every day. You know, it took me a little bit longer to actually master it and solve it, but now I've developed a muscle memory for that. So I still try my best to do it every single day. I enjoy it now, so. But even if I do go a couple days, maybe a week without doing it, I still kind of have that muscle memory to remember, like.
Yeah.
So
But when you take like a while off,
Oh,
even,
yeah.
even me, like
It's-
when you take a while off, you come back, you mess up a couple times, you're like, damn, yo, like I'm losing it, and then
Yeah.
you gotta start doing it more often, or else you lose it.
Exactly, and I think the moral of this scenario that we just gave is basically that it's a marathon, man. It's not a sprint. It's
Yes.
longevity. So you have to continue to train your mind the same way you train your body if you want it to operate, you know, the way you want it to operate. So, yeah.
I think one big thing too is like you're always either going forwards or you're going backwards. It's very hard to just stay in one place, whether it's your body or your mind. Like same thing, if you are someone with a great body in great shape and you just do nothing, you're gonna start moving backwards.
Mhm.
And if you're doing things to help you move forward, it's gonna help you move forward.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what are there any maybe tips or tricks that you wanted to share with the people, or actually before that maybe let's talk a little bit about something that you've developed over the years, the Bwanka mentality.
Okay.
Tell the people a little bit about what that is and why you even have a Bwanka mentality.
Okay. So Wonka mentality, it came from Mamba mentality. Man, I got this from Kobe.
Hey, shout out to Kobe.
Kobe is a beast, right? When Kobe came into the league, into the NBA, he was not like LeBron. LeBron came into the league, and he was just, everybody knew about LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
He was a starter. He was all-star. He carried his team, right? Kobe came into the league. He was on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play that much. I think he averaged less than 13 for sure.
Yeah.
It might even been around 6.
Yeah, he wasn't
But-
getting that much time.
But what made Kobe the Mamba mentality killer that he is his work ethic. Kobe, what Kobe did was he practiced 4 times every day.
Right.
Not necessarily, he did something very basketball oriented 4 times a day.
Okay,
Maybe
I see what you mean.
he could be studying.
He was
film,
training.
or-
He was training.
Yeah,
man.
basically
He was
training,
yeah.
all different types of trainings, but 4 times a day. Whereas most other players were only training 2 times a day. So he
Yeah.
was doing double what everyone else was doing.
Okay.
And he would say, oh, in the summertime they were trying to catch him, but they weren't able to catch him because
He's already putting
doing,
in that
he's
lot of
doing
work.
it all the time. So what Bwanka mentality is Bwanka mentality is put in that work, man. Do that extra work. Do what needs to be done. And it doesn't matter what it is. If I understand that I need to do this to get to where I need to go, whether it's waking up at 4:44 and going for a run in -20, it doesn't matter. This is what I need to do to get to where I want to go.
Man, that's powerful. I love that because this leads into the next thing I wanted to ask you about and mental toughness. Maybe you'll dig a little bit deeper into that because basically you developed a crazy amount of self-discipline, right? You're no longer relying on the willpower to get up at 4:44 and do all these things. You've gotten to a point where your mental toughness is high, man. It's like, yo, put me through whatever and I'm gonna figure out a way to get it done. So maybe just touch on that and why you begin to realize the importance of developing mental toughness.
Man, the mental toughness, 100%, it comes from pain. And a lot of times, pain comes, right? And you have 2 choices. You can either, 3 choices. First choice is you can run away. Second choice is you can just stand there and this is like when you're kind of putting your foot in the water.
Okay.
You're gonna be cold, shivering, right?
Right.
And the last choice is to fucking run at that shit as hard as you can and push right through it.
Right.
And what I've learned over time is you don't want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the middle. It doesn't feel good.
So
You
you've
just have to-
experienced that. You've tested the different.
Yeah.
ways.
Yo, you have to just go at that shit as hard as you can and push through the pain, cause man, the pain is gonna come. And the worst pain that I've ever experienced was for sure it was on the rigs.
Mhm.
On the rigs, you basically work just the worst work environments ever. You could be outside in -50 and your gloves are wet, you're shivering, but you have to keep doing this work just because it never stops. The work never stops.
Yeah.
And I think that's so now when I go running in -20, I can't complain.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't complain because I used to work 12 hours outside in -50, -30, all that, and now I'm running outside for 10 minutes in -20. You know what I mean?
It's not,
there's no way in hell
There's no
I could
comparison.
ever complain about this.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So you had to go through it, and then now it's man, you can't let that. You can't let that
That's what I'm saying. My comfort zone has grown so much. Before I worked outside, I would have never been why the hell would I run if it's -10, -15 outside? That's crazy. But now I've been outside in the cold. I understand it's not that bad. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna get sick.
Yeah.
You're just gonna go. It's not gonna feel good. But once you start moving, you get warmed up. It feels a lot better, and it makes you tougher.
Yeah. Just embrace change is what I'm getting from that too. And nothing changes when nothing changes, literally. So you have to make these changes. You have to embrace change. Go through the pain, and I think you'll get to where you need to go. So one other thing I wanted to talk about is we keep talking about the brain. We keep talking about learning. I think that one thing that really helps you when you're on this, when you're looking to train your mind and start to condition it, is you have to care. You have to understand what the brain really is, what it's about, the power it's able to generate, that you're able to generate through your brain and through your mind. Understand that and start to care about it, really care about it. And then when you learn, it makes it a little bit easier because you know now, you understand that, man, when I'm able to do this, like, and we keep comparing with the body because really they do go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to look a certain way, when you want to feel a certain way, there are things that you start to do, even if you don't want to do it, you don't like, you know, the actual process of doing it, but the result is what you're going for.
Yes.
So with the mind, it's the same thing, man. There's a lot of self-discipline involved in that. There's a lot of patience, but also just care, man. Just care about your mind, care about your brain, understand what it's capable of doing, and then start going after it. And you're not gonna learn everything in one shot. It's gonna take a while. We said it earlier. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So I think being patient is key too when we talk about this.
Amazing, man. Yo, I love this episode.
Yeah, man, this was good. It's about. I love it because like I was saying in the beginning, I'm learning a lot just every day about training my mind the same way I had to do it for my body. And I think it's key for everyone to this topic, especially because it's like you said. I like the thing you brought up in the beginning. You look at people and you can see that, hey man, this person either hasn't been really working out that much, you can see it in their body, or this guy's in really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
But the mind, man, it's hidden. You don't see it. It's just these things we have to do behind the scenes so that we're good mentally as well as physically.
Amazing. Okay, so today was all about train your body, train your mind. Doesn't matter like if you could see it or if you can't. You just do those things that are gonna help you move forward.
Yeah, I got a quick podcast suggestion. Let me throw it in here before we go. So there's a podcast by Jim Kwik. It's called Kwik Brain. Kwik is spelled Kwik. It's a really good podcast in terms of they really go into deep topics that surround the brain. So it's like workout exercises that boost your brain, or how to release happy chemicals. All these things surrounding the brain that are really fascinating. And I think they're short, really short episodes. Give it a listen if you're interested. I think you'll benefit. Again, it talks about the brain a lot, so you'll learn about how to work in that area.
Okay. So, don't forget, December 19th, we're having our growth talk. Make sure you get your tickets. You can get them on Eventbrite. Use our promo code. It's going to get you 50% off, Pod Talks. And for those of you that you're determined, you're a hard worker, you want more out of life, but you're just not sure where you're going to get it, we offer growth coaching. And growth coaching is something that we're going to help you make a plan, we'll help you create goals, and help you stick to that plan so that you can get to wherever it is that you want to get. And other than that, make sure to subscribe, tell a friend. It's all about continual growth. We're all trying to grow together.
Yep.
And other than that, we'll talk to you next week. Kill every day and own your fucking life. Boop! Bless up!